What's up, guys? Raziel here, and I just finished Final Fantasy XIV EndWalker story. So this video is going to be my review of the good and bad, spoiler-free, of the new expansion for Final Fantasy XIV. So let's do the drop and let's talk about it.
I am Raziel.
Alright, guys. As you can see, my hair is unkempt. I just wanted to sleep on things. I haven't done shit today. I just wanted to give a review after sleeping on it, after finishing the EndWalker main storyline last night, and I'm going to talk about the things I liked and the things I didn't without giving any spoilers overall. So, just as I did with the Shadowbringers review when it came out, I'm not going to be doing any, like, this isn't scripted. I'm just going to go with what comes to mind. So let's start off. The EndWalker was, I didn't go in with a whole lot of really high expectations. I did go into Shadowbringers with high expectations. I didn't go into EndWalker with as high. The reasons being was I had kind of lost interest in Final Fantasy XIV as a game for a while. Mostly because doing Party Finder Savage broke me, but ultimately I really liked Shadowbringers storyline, the main storyline, and the whole Emmett Selk arc and everything was fucking fantastic. But other little things sprinkled out throughout Shadowbringers I didn't like as much. I won't go into a bunch of details there. So my expectations weren't as high. Obviously, I knew going into this, the story would still be good. So we're going to talk about the positive first. EndWalker did a fantastic job of wrapping up the story of Hydaelyn and Zodiark, just as Yoshi P said they were going to do. I thought it was very well done. The music was amazing. They brought back so many things from other expansions, you know, themes for certain characters, and just brought in a lot of characters, not just music-wise, but from all expansions, to wrap everything up and have everything click and fall into place, which I think they did a fantastic job of. Absolutely amazing. I really enjoyed it. Some tearjerker moments in there. Some, moments where I want to just, reach through my monitor and punch the shit out of the character on the screen. Just very well done. My only complaint about the story, and again, no spoilers, was the ultimate at the end of the game. The main antagonist that it sets up, I thought didn't have quite enough character development. That's just my opinion. You may disagree with me. It was still great. It was still fantastic. It was fucking awesome, but that was a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of a cop-out for me. It was kind of felt a little rushed on that part, but outside of that, everything was great. Where I would rank the story, again, Heavensward and Shadowbringers, then I'm not talking about the stories for the entire expansion. I'm only talking about the stories at the launch of an expansion. Heavensward is still up there at the top. Heavensward was still so good. And then as Shadowbringers, the initial storyline in Shadowbringers, I actually liked better than Heavensward, just a teeny tiny bit. So let's say, to kind of put where I put this, I would put, as far as all the expansions and the initial launch stories, I would have to say that I will put Shadowbringers at a 9.8, EndWalker at a 9.7, and Heavensward at a 9.6, with The Realm Reborn being an 8 and Stormblood being a 7. Maybe a 6.5. I'm not a huge fan of Stormblood, the whole entire expansion, but I'm just talking about the launch story. I didn't like it very much. That's just me. I think they're all really close. Heavensward, EndWalker, and Shadowbringers, the initial launch story, is a little too close to call in some cases. So I thought it was very well done. Now let's go into other things. The areas, the zones, I thought were amazing. They were great. The Routed Zan, I wasn't a big fan of, but not for any, just the aesthetic isn't my thing, but overall it was the story there and everything else was great. All the zones and the dungeons. Now let's talk about the dungeons. The dungeons were fantastic, and the reason why, and I'm not talking about the level cap dungeons, just the ones that are required for the story and the trials for the story. were really, really, really well done. Fantastic. I love how much stuff they brought in from Final Fantasy IV, music-wise, appearance-wise for certain enemies and characters and things like that. It was just, it was fucking wonderful. Especially the moon stuff I loved it. Very nostalgic for me, as Final Fantasy IV was my first Final Fantasy that I ever played. So I really, really, really enjoyed that whole entire section of the game. Just really, really well done. Bravo, Square, you did great at wrapping up the story. Trials were great, dungeons were great, very, very aesthetically pleasing. The music was, again, unmatched by any other MMO that exists. And then, of course, the character development in the story was absolutely great. You know, setting aside my one little dispute with the story, it was very, very well done. Thank you, Square. I enjoyed it. Okay, now let's get on to the negative things about my experience with EndWalker. First and foremost, and I know this is going to go without saying, the fucking login queues and the server instability. And a lot of people are going to say, you know, well, it's not their fault because they, you know, there's all MMO new expansions launches are this way. They're unstable. There is, you know, a shortage of chips still, so they can't add more servers. And I get all that. I get all that, and I agree. But fuck you, okay? This is where I'm going to do a caveat here. No. And I'm going to tell you why. If you may not remember, but I'm going to remind you, when A Realm Reborn came out, you know, 14 2.0, they stopped digital sales because the servers were too full, and they were nowhere near as full as they are right now. They stopped digital sales, which is the right move. But Square has known how many pre-orders they sold of EndWalker. They've known for a long time. The chip shortages have been going on for well over a year now. Final Fantasy XIV's biggest surge of new players came in spring of this year, so they had plenty of time to go, hey, we're way over capacity, and to stop sales, or at least slow them down, or to stop the trial accounts, stop doing suspend trials until they're able to have the capacity to add more servers, or, you know, make servers be able to hold more people, but they didn't. And I don't think that's Yoshi P's fault. He doesn't make decisions like that. I don't think he can make this is all shareholder Square Enix corporate greed, in my opinion, that they just continued to make sales, continued to do all this shit, despite knowing they were way over capacity. And I already know that Square's facing some lawsuits over this, because it's illegal to sell a product that doesn't function the way it's supposed to. And if you sell a product when you can't, like, realistically support the product, is illegal in most countries. So I'm not joining in any lawsuits. It is what it is. I don't fucking care, but it's gonna happen. It just further proves my point that I've been trying to say forever, with all the bullshit going on with Blizzard, right? Lately, that Square Enix is not some glowing pillar of morality in the AAA game industry. Its bottom line is the same as everyone else's: make as much money as possible, then buyer be damned. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. I think it's bullshit, but that's just me. It sucks that a lot of people, I was able to get through it and log in because of the times I get on, but I know a lot of people just weren't able to play. And let's be real, the fact that they're going to get 7 days of free game time compensation because they weren't able to play during pre-launch, and let's be real, pre-launch is actual launch. It's just a marketing gimmick to make you buy the game, pre-order the game. But that's not going to fix them, because they're going to be facing the same queues, if not higher queues. And Yoshi P already made it clear that they're not going to have the accessibility to add more hardware to make queues go away, or to add new servers, or like 6-7 months from now, the earliest. So yeah, it's a poor fucking excuse, and I think it's absolutely shameful. Okay, the next negative I'm going to talk about, and this may be a positive for some people, but for me it's a negative. It's pretty clear that Square Enix and Yoshi P and the team have clearly said that, hey, Final Fantasy XIV is a single player game. It's a single player game with multiplayer functionality. It is not an MMORPG. It's an MORPG at best. The reason why, you can do the entire we saw them move in this direction during Shadowbringers, but you're seeing it again now. Even further push in Endwalker. You can do everything in the game except for in the entire leveling process, the entire storyline of Endwalker. You can do it all 100% by yourself with the trust system, except for 2 duties. The final one, and there's another trial in the middle that you have to do with a player group. So only 2 activities in probably 10 to 15 hours of gameplay, maybe even longer, that you're forced to play with other people in an MMORPG. That's a problem to me, but I see that's the direction they're going. So it's a single. Final Fantasy XIV is a single player named numbered Final Fantasy experience with co-op functionality once you're at the highest level, is how I see it now. Because the end game, again, is just following the same formula it always has. And why I think this is a problem is there's a lot of people that I would want to play Final Fantasy XIV with me that have never played. And there's 10 years worth of content that's cock blocking them from ever playing with actually playing with me. Sure, I can jump back and do some of the earlier duties with them, but they're essentially locked behind a giant wall of story because Final Fantasy XIV is so narrative focused. Before we can do anything together, before they ever even get close to reaching level cap, being able to raid or do the 24-man raids or PvP or any of that stuff, it's only getting worse. Like, even though they cut down ARR's post patch content significantly, it's still a huge cock block. Like, I have a friend who's, he didn't even buy Endwalker because, like, dude, there's no way I'm going to get there in time. And I have other friends that I'd want to play. I would love my girlfriend to play, but it's going to take a long time before them, if they play, to get there. Not to mention the fact that right now, every single solitary fucking server in the game has new players restricted. You can't make new characters, so it's like, and we know that's 6-7 months away before they get anything, new servers. So I'm really interested to see what happens. I know a lot of people, how they play 14 is once they get through the storyline, they unsub and they quit until the next patch comes along, which frees up some space. A few times will go down, but still, new character creation is totally cock blocked at this point. So anyway, guys, that's my ultimate review of Endwalker. So far, I give Endwalker a solid 8.5 out of 10 in terms of how much I enjoyed it. And I am going to keep playing. I am going to do the extremes and find a static group for Savage. We'll see what happens. Pretty soon, I'm going to have my issues with Dark Knight. That's the main job I've been playing. That's what I did through the storyline. As soon as I finish Paladin and I can compare, I'm going to do my review. Dark Knight's in a kind of a bad state, so I'm gonna do some actual class reviews coming up next later this week. But anyway, guys, give me your thoughts and opinions on what you thought about Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. If you've beaten it, if you haven't, where you're at. Spoiler free, please keep it spoiler free in the comment section if at all possible. And I'll be back with more content, guys. I wasn't streaming it all this week because I wanted to enjoy the story without spoilers, but I will be on my regular streaming schedule next week. So thanks, guys, for coming by, and as always, my friends, keep it real.